How to build a home in 2024 is what we're going to talk about today. Before we get into all that, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that fun stuff. It really helps grow the channel. And I'm going to go ahead and get into start sharing the screen so we can get into the fun stuff of checking it out. So this is my website, wichitahomehero.com. If you ever need to get back to this, research and options, different service levels and strategies. For this one, we're going to go to the buy/build section. And we're going to go to how do I build a home? Just to break down the process. And we're going to go over the foundational base things, but then also advanced strategies for doing this for 2024. Man, that's a bad picture. I wish that was a better picture, but that's all right. I'm a real person. So here's our professional process when it comes to building a house and engaging us as your agent as far as the representation goes for you and what you want to look at here. So when it comes to looking at building a home, I do highly advise you to discuss with us what you're looking to do, what kind of insights you're looking at, and do a game plan with us. It's no charge, no cost. You can book out a time. We can discuss it. We can look at what you're wanting to do, what you're trying to do, and discuss the differences of building a home compared to buying like a retail home and the pros and cons and if, ands, and buts are on that. And I think I have a video on that. If not, I'll make one with that, but check out some other content with all that too. But having that game plan together, and there's a lot of model homes that are new builds that are open, checking out the communities, exploring like the builders, the communities, the price points, the figures, everything goes with it when it comes to building a home is definitely where I would start. And that way you can kind of get an idea of what you need to get approved for, what you're comfortable with payment wise, and then getting your financing set up with the bank. So some builders, some developers will offer construction financing for you, paid on their behalf that comes at a charge as long as you show them a pre-qualification letter. Other ones are going to require you to bring your own construction loan and to have living situation set up and you carry the note. So it kind of depends on what financing structure you want and you're comfortable with. So there's a lot that goes into the financing side of things. And then step 3, decide, like, because this is probably one of the hardest things for people is that they're going, okay, I'm going the new build route. Like, I'm going to build a new house. I'm not going to look at a retail home. I want to build, because a lot of times if you can't get what you want, you got to build it. And you have to decide like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm building a home and I'm going to decide on, typically it starts with a floor plan. A floor plan is usually what you want to look at as far as I want to build this house. Now from there, picking a builder has a lot more to do with like a personal relationship and a connection with them as a contractor, because that's what they are, is their contractor. And this is more on a construction contract side of things than it is necessarily on like a real estate retail side of things. So it's the floor plan you want to build, and then the connection relationship you feel like you have of working with that builder to deliver what you're wanting to do. So that's where it comes down to not just touring the houses, but also this is where we'll help you out if you sign an agency with us, as far as arranging, meeting with the builder, asking the questions, getting a feel for them, how they operate, their style, their feel, the way they build things, and everything that goes with that. So that's where builders differ in their methods and their styles and their strategies, what they offer. And when you engage us as a purchase agent, we set those up, we help you decide, we kind of act, on as your representative to help you look at that from your perspective and represent you, not just from their perspective and the seller's agent, listing agent, because a lot of them portray it as you can go straight to them. You don't need an agent, but you're unrepresented and you have a lot of biased advice that comes with that. Whereas when you have a purchase agent on your side like us, it doesn't necessarily cost you anything more. And you might as well get the advice and the service and the help from us, as opposed to going straight to the lot agent, straight to the seller, straight to the builder. You're really not necessarily getting any kind of a deal. You're just kind of going there unrepresented, not entirely knowing what's going on. But once you decide on the developer, the community, the floor plan, the builder, all of those things, that's where we enter into what's called the builder contract. And this is not just a contract to purchase the land, but it's also a construction contract that lines out the terms of the agreement. And these are way longer, way more complicated, way more detailed than your typical 7-page retail contract. A lot of the builder contracts can vary from builder to builder. And that's where, as an agent, I really help you sort through and decipher what's part of this, how things work, all the mechanics of it all, because you don't necessarily get all of that from the site agent or the builder. is having that go-to person that's available, that understands construction, understands the real estate process of everything. But you do have a build contract that's going to be about a 6 to 8 month process, depending on where things are at, just to give you an idea of timeline. And then from there, once you have the construction contract done, earnest money deposited, everything set up, it's a lot of little meetings, a lot of little selection meetings. So usually, to give you a frame of reference, you start from outside in. And so you're going to pick like your window colors, your doors, you're going to pick your roof color, your guttering, your paint, all that, and then start from the outside in. So that way the outside can get built and done and buttoned up, weatherproof, so that they can start to work on the inside. Whereas you go to the inside of everything and you go pick out with the designer, typically like cabinets take the longest to get in. So you want to pick those out as fast as possible. And a lot of things are built around where the cabinets are at. And you want to make sure that like the cabinets match with the countertops, that match with the floors, that match with the paint, that match with the trim, that matches with the tile, that matches with the light fixtures. And this is where designers come in on everything, because you definitely want to get an idea for the feel and the flow of it all. And then once it's all completely done, you have closing day, and again, it's about a 6 to 8 month process we're looking at if we're building a home. Here's more of a flow chart to break you down, but this is the base foundational piece of it all. Go to the website to see a blown up version, because this one's kind of small, but it kind of takes you through the whole flow chart, the whole roadmap of everything that comes with it all, and what to expect along the entire way. Of course, we're here for you as a personal contact, personal concierge, to discuss whatever you have, questions you have. If you want to discuss this, explore this, go ahead and book a time out in the schedule. And you can kind of nerd out on this page as much as you want to know. Developers and communities, all those different things go with this. So that's kind of like the base foundational side of it for building a house. Let's get into some of the advanced strategies for building a home in 2024 and how those work. Let me get in presenter mode. So this is how we're going to build a home in 2024, to give you some of the most up-to-date strategies. So prepared plans, strategies set in place ahead of time so it can be fully present to perfectly craft your home. Experienced insight and consideration as far as resale value knowledge, functional design, understanding of modern construction methods, and cooperative usefulness that's actually helpful and doesn't just get in the way. And then number 3 is speed and relationships, lightning fast responsiveness to the market, clients, agents, vendors, combined with reputation and reliability. So why listen to me? Who's this guy? Why does it matter? So I'm a local, born and raised Wichitan. I've got a construction background, used to be a trim carpenter, did a lot of siding work, insurance work, flipped houses, still flip some houses, own rentals, 8 years licensed, 350 homes sold my career so far, and 140 5-star reviews. Just to give you some credibility, not to be braggadocious or egotistical or anything like that. I just want to give you some legitimacy to what we're doing here. And then the way you can get the most out of this is not just listening to me, but also reading this, and then the audio visual, and then demonstrating it. The best part of this is a discussion. It's really hard to give specific advice to a general audience, which is what I'm doing right now. If you want specific advice or consideration, just shoot me a message, give me a call, reach out. I'd be happy to have a conversation with you, because that's a lot more of my style, is conversational and service, than it is like hard push and sales on everything. Then obviously we just got to go through it on everything, and then not necessarily going to teach it, but you're going to have an experience going through this. But that's how you get the most out of this. So the first one, prepared plans. So cash and or financing set in place is the biggest one. We got to make sure we're able to do this financially, we're willing to do this financially, and then we have everything set in place before we want to just go dream and look at houses and have a pie in the sky attitude and idea, like, is this possible, and are we going to do it? And then also with that, having your living situation during the build phase organized, because some builders, depending on your financial situation, require you to sell your house and then rent while you're building the home. Other ones are a little looser and more lenient as far as using their construction financing and that kind of thing. So making sure we have that piece of the puzzle all figured out, put together. But then a big piece of it too is analyzing and selecting developments, builders, finance structures, and lenders, and just having all those moving parts of the puzzle put together, decided on, so that we can put each piece of the puzzle going forward to build a house. It's not just, hey, let's go look at pretty houses and wing it and put it together. It's a very strategic, planned out process. But then also kind of like what I mapped out before on those ongoing service expectations for selection meetings, communication methods, and availability. A lot of times I'm more available than like the builder and the site agent for answering any of your questions. I will go to each of the selection meetings with you. It's commonly which is crazy to me. It's common how a lot of agents will bring their buyer to the builder and then do nothing all the way until closing, which is wild to me again. But this is where I'll be with you all the way through the selection meetings, communication methods, availability, discussions, negotiations, problem solving, anything goes with that. And then obviously as it goes along, project milestone updates, where I kind of want to see how that goes on. I want to stay involved. Like I really genuinely am interested in houses and how they're built. And so I take a vested interest in your project and what's going on, giving you updates, understanding. You have questions along the way, like I'm there for you as we go through this build phase of everything. So prepared plans is definitely one of the ways we are going to build a house in 2024. And then experience, insight, and consideration. I'm reaching the double digits. Sorry, not reaching. I'm past the double digits in this. And I'd have to go count out how many I've done in my career of working with people to build a home, but I want to say it's close to 20. I'd have to go tally it up though to give you the exact number on it. But a big piece of this is from how much experience I have in the retail market, as far as the resale value knowledge of what's going to be an important thing you want to build into the home that may be weird later, or something you want to definitely include that you don't want to take out, that you're considering taking out. So that resale value knowledge of when we build this home, when we go to sell it, what are buyers looking at? What's the market looking at? What do people like? Because in some ways you want to make it unique and custom to you, but not so weird and unique that you can't sell it later after the fact. And it's this odd house that people don't really want to buy anymore. So that's definitely one of the biggest values I have when we come to the table, is that resale value knowledge of what's important to people when you want to look at the value of your asset long term. Because if nobody wants to buy it because it's weird or it's odd or it's too unique, like you're kind of shooting yourself in the foot without taking that into consideration with this build that you're doing. The other side of it is functional design, just from talking and working with a lot of buyers and walking through a lot of houses and dealing with the consumer pretty regularly. There's a lot of collective knowledge that I have around bringing to the table around functional design and what people like, what they don't like, what they're seeing is good, what's not, and coming at that from not just from the resale value knowledge side, but also like you're going to be living in this house for hopefully at least 10 to 15 years. And so knowing some of those functional design concepts that we can bring to the table, or just some of that creative ways to see things or what's possible or what's not. I have a good construction mind that goes with that for what you might be thinking or dreaming of in your head and how to actually make that happen. So that's part of it, is with the understanding of modern construction methods, just knowing how houses are built, how things function, how they work, especially walking through houses, helping you picture them, visualize them, see them, for all these ideas and thoughts you have in your head. And then the biggest piece of this is cooperative usefulness. So I'm not coming in here to necessarily be a nuisance or in the way or just annoying like some people can be. I'm there to very cooperate with the builder and you, and be useful and helpful and move things along, not to necessarily hold things up or be an obtrusion to the process, but to be a value add with it all. So experience, insight, consideration, that's what we're there for. And then the third one, speed and relationships. Time is of the essence. The more we are behind on our selection meetings or take a delay to get things done or move forward on things, you're either missing the lot that you want, missing the floor plan you want, missing the pricing you want, missing the selection of windows going up in price, or a product not being available, or carpet going out of stock, or brick going out of stock, tile. You can tell like these are all things that have happened before where we waited too long or we didn't quite get it done. And that goes a long ways as far as like the quicker and the faster you can get it done, the better with everything. So speed is of the essence, time is of the essence. And then also just the relationship I have with a lot of the builders around here, a lot of the designers, a lot of the contractors, a lot of the agents. So that reputation, that reliability, and that tactical empathy of seeing it from their side, seeing it from your side, and figuring out a way to make things work. So that's the three strategies I have. But now this is where the coach in me kicks in. Don't just watch this, take action. Yeah, it's fun, it's entertaining, but what are you going to go apply from this? What are you going to do from this? Take some action. How? By when? How can I support you in doing that? And then can I hold you accountable to that action plan? Follow up, do you check in? How'd it go? What'd you find out? Where are we at? Let's move things along. Because we all know we kind of need that person in our life to kind of move us along, to actually do something and get this done, and not just dream about it, think about it, talk about it, but actually do it. And that's where I want to be that person for you in this life, to hopefully give you the plan, give you the roadmap, but then work you through the process, because we all need that coach, that person in our life that's kind of helping us, looking out for us, especially when it comes in the real estate place. But Appreciate watching. If you watch all the way in, that's amazing, and I appreciate that. Here's my website. Here's all my socials if you want to creep on me. My YouTubes, for either whether you're a client or an agent. You text me, email me here. But I really appreciate you watching all this, especially if you watch all the way to the end. Check out my other videos around real estate or Wichita or any of the combinations above. Appreciate you watching as always, and hopefully we'll talk to you soon. See ya.